So we've been keeping an eye on the AI agent store, checking out the different tools popping up.
Right. It's always interesting to see what's new.
And one caught our attention, especially for anyone in software development. It's called Jules.
Ah, yes, Jules from Google, right.
Mm.
An AI coding agent, definitely worth talking about.
Exactly. So we thought we'd unpack what it actually does today based on the info we found, see why it might be useful.
Sounds good. So the basics first. What is Jules, really?
Okay, so as you said, it's an AI coding agent from Google. The key thing seems to be that it's asynchronous.
Meaning it works away in the background, essentially.
Yeah, its main goal is to autonomously handle software development tasks.
And what kind of tasks are we talking about? Is it writing whole applications?
Not quite yet, it seems. The focus, at least initially, is on things like bug fixes and writing tests. The stuff that needs doing but can be quite time-consuming.
Right, the grunt work, almost. Fixing bugs, writing unit tests. If it can automate that reliably, that's actually a pretty big deal.
That's what I was thinking. And it works directly within GitHub workflows,
Hmm.
which is, where most devs live anyway.
That integration is key, isn't it? Makes it much easier to adopt if it fits into the existing process. So how does it actually do the work?
Well, the information says it operates inside a secure Google Cloud virtual machine.
Okay, so it's sandboxed. Makes sense.
Yeah, and from there, it clones the repository first.
To understand the context, presumably, not just looking at one file in isolation.
Exactly. It needs to understand the project context. Then it uses the Gemini 2.5 Pro model.
Oh, okay. So a pretty powerful model behind it.
Right, to come up with multi-step plans and then execute them.
Well, step plans. So it's not just find and replace. It's actually figuring out a sequence of actions.
That's the idea, yeah. For bug fixes, tests, and apparently other things too.
Interesting. And how do you, tell it what to do? Do you chat with it?
It seems pretty straightforward through GitHub. You can apparently assign tasks using prompts, maybe in an issue description, or just by adding specific labels to GitHub issues.
Ah, okay. So using the existing GitHub mechanisms, labels for bug fix candidate or generate tests, maybe.
Something like that, yeah. It leverages stuff developers already know.
That's smart. Minimizes the friction. But, okay, if it's working autonomously, how do you make sure it doesn't mess things up? You need visibility, right?
Absolutely. And they seem to emphasize transparency. It apparently provides detailed plans before it acts.
Okay, good. Like a proposal.
Yeah. And then it generates diffs, the code change comparison.
Standard diff view. Yeah. Essential for code review.
So you can clearly see exactly what it changed. And get this, it even creates audio change logs.
Audio change logs. Seriously, like it talks you through the changes.
Apparently so. An interesting approach to explaining code modifications.
Huh. Different. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
talk about this autonomy. The details mention an 88% autonomy level. What does that actually mean in practice?
Well, the asynchronous part is a big piece of it, I think. It can just chip away at tasks on its own time.
Right. You assign it something and it gets back to you later with a proposed solution. You're not watching it type.
Exactly. And it handles the whole process.
Yeah.
Cloning the repo, figuring out the plan, doing the coding for things like dependency upgrades or bug fixes,
Yeah.
all without constant hand-holding. That seems to be where the high autonomy comes from.
Dependency upgrades, too. That could be tedious. Okay, so 88% autonomous, but not 100%. What's the human check?
The final say is still human. It generates pull requests with its changes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those pull requests, the diffs, they need explicit approval from a developer before anything gets merged into the main code base.
Okay, so it proposes, but the human reviews and merges, like a junior developer almost, but one that works really fast on specific tasks.
Kind of, yeah. And it can handle complex stuff, too, like running tests in isolated cloud environments to make sure its changes didn't break anything else.
That's crucial. Testing its own work before submitting the PR. Okay, that makes the 88% figure feel a bit more concrete. It does a lot, but the final gate is human.
Right. So thinking practically, if you're listening and you're a developer or managing a team, what are the killer use cases here?
Well, the obvious ones are automating those repetitive bits we mentioned. Bug fixes, definitely. Writing boilerplate tests. Think about how much collective time that could save.
Yeah, freeing people up for, harder problems or new features.
Exactly. Less reactive work, more proactive building. He also mentions managing dependency updates.
Always a fun task.
Tell me about it. And even some code refactoring. Plus, because it's asynchronous, your team can keep working while Jules handles these tasks in the background. Less context switching, maybe.
It's all right there in GitHub.
Hmm.
No need to jump to a separate platform constantly.
That integration seems to be a major selling point.
Okay, so this sounds potentially really useful. How do people actually get their hands on it? Is it, like, widely available? What about cost?
Good questions. Right now, it's in public beta.
Beta, okay.
Okay.
So still evolving, but usable.
Yeah, and here's the really attractive part. There's a free tier. Lets you run 5 tasks per day.
5 tasks a day for free? That's actually pretty generous for trying it out. Lets you really kick the tires.
Definitely. It lowers the barrier significantly. They do mention that future pricing tiers are planned, so it won't be free forever, presumably, but the free tier is a great starting point.
Makes sense. Any idea what the early feedback is like? What's the community saying?
The AI Agent Store page summarized some initial positive takes, mentioning Reddit threads. People are highlighting the free access, obviously.
Yeah, free is always popular.
And praising the GitHub integration, how seamless it feels. The diff view also gets mentioned as being helpful for quickly reviewing the AI's work.
Okay, so the core mechanics seem to be landing well with early users.
It seems so. Of course, for the full picture, like the potential downsides people might be finding, you'd need the premium access on the store to see the complete summary. But the positives mentioned are definitely appealing.
Fair enough. So who is this really aimed at? Who benefits most?
Well, obviously, software developers are front and center, but also, DevOps engineers looking to automate workflows, QA testers, potentially, for
Yeah.
generating test cases, maybe, even project managers who care about team velocity and efficiency.
Software architects too, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking about how AI fits into the bigger development picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone involved in that software lifecycle could potentially find value here.
Okay, so if we had to boil it down, what are the main takeaways about Jules?
I'd say, 1, it automates tedious but important coding tasks, bugs, tests, dependencies. 2, its deep integration with GitHub is a huge plus. 3, it's currently accessible with that free beta tier. And 4, it really has the potential to change daily workflows, freeing up significant developer time.
Yeah, it makes you think, doesn't it? How could an AI agent like this, focused on these specific, maybe less glamorous coding tasks, actually reshape how software teams operate day to day?
Letting developers focus more on the creative, complex architectural stuff.
Exactly. Something for you listening to consider: what repetitive tasks in your own workflow or areas you're interested in might be next in line for this kind of AI automation.
It's definitely a space to watch.
For sure. If you want to check out Jules yourself or explore other AI agents, head over to aiagentstore.ai.
Lots to explore there.
Indeed. Well, thanks for tuning in today. And if you found this useful, we'd really appreciate it if you took a moment to rate the show.
Yeah, helps others find it. Thanks, everyone.